8 o'clock, I'm off to the Australia Day event. I'm in the house behind, the cat's looking after things. We're on our way up Woolcock Street. Well, the old train station. I'm heading over there now. West Tarrant Park. Park here. Used to be mowed. Property for sale, I think. Comes with king snags. And a lake. And a house. I think. Across there now. Past the train crossing and down there. And that's the train going wherever it goes. Go in there. Here's Australia Day at the Racecourse. Lots of people are arriving now. This is the public car park for the Racecourse. Entering.
Because Jason Wright has taken leave, so Carl from Horsham, give him a round of applause, please. Okay, guys and scouts and flags, lead the way. Good morning everyone on this very Australian summer, Australia Day. I'm Wendy Hewitt. It's my honour to be your MC today for our Australia Day event. The Guides and Scouts, Cousin Joey's and our guest musician Darryn Wardle are going to lead you all. Darryn wanted to do 2 verses, but I'm sorry there's only one in the program, so I know you all know it. We're going to be led singing our national anthem. Please remain standing. And I think we might have something from one of the scouts. Joe?
We invite you to sing with us.
Thank you.
Australians all are sweet joys, for we are one and free. With golden soil, wealth and toil, our home is good by sea. A land abounds in nature's gift, a beauty rich and rare. History's every station finds Australia fair. In joyful strains and let us sing advance Australia fair.
Thank you everybody, please take your seats. guy for the district. We've got John Bishop at the back. We've got Colin Newell from the... We've got everything sorted, don't you worry. I'd now like to invite Rotary President David Drage for a welcome. Thank you.
Could everyone please turn to the back with their Australian flag and wave it in John Aiken's general direction? So thank you. So good morning everyone. As President of the Warracknabeal Rotary Club, I have the honour of welcoming you all to the 2026 Warracknabeal Australia Day celebrations. Firstly, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we meet today and pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. I would also like to welcome our special guests, Councillor Kylie Zanker and Charlie Kirk, local AM recipient Dr Tony Gregson, local OAM recipients Terry Sanders, Ian Penny and Maryann, our guest speaker Alex Morcom and her mother Carolyn, our guest musician Darryn Wardle, and our Australia Day award winners from this year and years past. And you, the audience, who have come to support our Australia Day event. I would also like to acknowledge apologies from John Tonkin, Emma Beaton, Ben Bentley OAM and Jean Wise OAM and Reverend James Wood. Past Citizens of the Year recipients Peter Clayton, Jeff Lovell and Wendy, Ken Smale and also Jean Wise again and Barry Schilling. Australia Day is a special day where we get to celebrate the things we love about Australia. Our lifestyle, our diverse cultures, the freedoms we enjoy, this year's Lamb Ad from NLA, but particularly the people who make our community what it is. Today we will be celebrating our local area and our local people and celebrating their achievements. We will hear about some particular individuals who through their successes have contributed so much to our community. Warracknabeal District is a great place to live and today we will see and hear some of the reasons why. Today we are collecting donations to support one of our local community projects, The Shed, which is located behind the Anglican Church. Please consider throwing some money in the donation bucket you will see on your way out. But in the meantime, sit back, relax and enjoy our 2026 Australia Day celebration. Thank you.
Just out of Warracknabeal and was educated here in Warracknabeal and at Ballarat Grammar. Sport was always a passion for Alex. I think she could beat me at tennis, so I know about that. She excelled in multiple fields. She studied sports management at La Trobe University and LSU in USA. And on graduation was showing a real interest and talent in AFL football. Moving through the ranks over the years and winning a
summer consisting of Friday night basketball at the local stadium, Saturday morning and afternoon tennis at Anzac Park, and every other week tennis tournaments on a Sunday travelling across the Wimmera. I am grateful that my parents supported these crazy weekend rituals, but it honestly made my childhood what it was, and for that I am grateful. There really is nothing like community sport and the way it brings people together and creates a purpose for all those involved. There is absolutely no doubt that this is where my love of sport first began. I remember...
They sat down on time.
Still reading the crowd.
Still reading the crowd, okay, so just be careful how you're behaving, everybody. We welcome Darryn. He's going to sing a few of his favourite songs, Australian songs with a few stories, and please welcome him. Thank you.
Thanks, David. Yeah, Wendy put the pressure on me. She sent me a text late yesterday afternoon. By the way, what are you going to sing? And I don't think I responded to about 11 o'clock last night. And, I'm not going to do any of the songs that I told I was going to do. But yeah, we've all travelled, we've been around, and and everybody has a story. So here's a song by a Kimberley artist, like by the name of Peter Brandy. You might find me on the back roads of Kimberley. You might see me making campfires by the creek. Well, don't you worry if I'm walking alone. I'm home and away, for this is the land where I was born. Now these days are over, where the old folk used to roam. Cross the old river to the other side, where they sang their trouble songs and they danced to the night until the early morning light. You might find me on the back roads of Kimberley. You might see me making campfires by the creek. Well, don't you worry if I'm walking alone. I'll be home and away, for this is the land where I was born. When I drive through this countryside, I still wonder how people lived alone here on this land. From the ranges and gorges, across the desert plains, to the ocean where the rivers run wild. You might find me on the back roads of Kimberley. You might see me making campfires by the creek. Well, don't you worry if I'm walking alone. I'll be home and away, for this is the land where I was born. You might find me on the back roads of Kimberley. You might see me making campfires by the creek. Well, don't you worry if I'm walking alone. I'll be home and away, for this is the land where I was born. You might find me on the back roads of Kimberley. You might see me making campfires by the creek. Well, don't you worry if I'm walking alone. I'll be home and away, for this is the land where I was born. This is the land where I was born. Thank you. Still very passionate that we should celebrate Australia Day. It's so important to all of us, from different cultures, different parts of the world. Doesn't matter where you come from or whatever else, but it's very important. I'm going to do one of my songs, and a few of you here may have heard this, Carol in particular. And it comes from a place where I was probably in a dark spot in my life, and I was sitting on a rock on the far north part of Australia in the west, and looking at all the people moving around and going past them, and all the sadness and happiness and everything else in the world, and we're surrounded by it, and there's still every day the sun's going to come up and the sun's going to go down. The tide's going to come in and the tide's going to go out. They're a sure bet it's going to happen all the time, but it's everything in between that sort of affects us in a big way, and it's so important. And my father said me to say this 1,000 times. I've got admiration for him and Mum. I'd still walk down the street and right to the very end. And everybody wants love, and everybody wants happiness. And a few lines in this song which might be familiar. And but yeah, it's a little song I put together a few years ago. So it's called So Many Faces. Don't know where I'm going or where I'll stay. It's the same old commotion in every way. The clear blue skies, wide open spaces. I said I tied loads up. So many faces I know. So many faces I know. I wake up each day, yeah, to see the same old faces, the same old way, yeah, the same old places. The clear blue skies, wide open spaces. I said I tied loads up. So many faces I know. So many faces I know. So many faces. You said that you love me. You said that you would. You said that you love me, and I said that you could. To clear blue skies, wide open spaces. I said I tied loads up. So many faces I know. So many faces I know. I see time rush by. I see time stand still. That I don't know why or how that I will. See clear blue skies, wide open spaces. I said I tied loads up. So many faces I know. So many faces I know. So many faces I see clear blue skies, yeah, wide open spaces. I said I tied loads up. So many faces I see clear blue skies, yeah, wide open spaces. I said I tied loads up. So many faces I know. 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 Thank you. You know, I'm on time here. I got one more with me. Only because Alex went over time, but that's okay, Alex. And Alex is always a hard act to follow, so here's a little song you may know. It's a travelling song by Colin Hay, Men at Work. It's about travelling and coming home and speaking about this beautiful country we live in. It's called Down Under. Friday come in, the big trailhead full of zombies. Met a stranger there, she made me nervous. Took me in and she gave me breakfast. She said, do you come from a land down under? Women go and men they plunder. Can you hear that thunder? You better run, you better take cover. Buying bread from a man in Brussels, 6'4", full of muscle. Said, do you speak my language? If they smile, give me a Vegemite sandwich. She said, you come from a land down under. Women go and men make plunder. Can you hear that thunder? You better run, you better take cover. Yes, in Bombay, it's like John, not much to say. Said to the man, are you trying to tempt me? Cause I come from the land of plenty. Do you come from the land down under? Women go and they plunder. Can you hear that thunder? You better run, you better take cover. You can help me out here. You come from a land down under. Women go and they plunder. Can you hear that thunder? You better run, you better take cover. Come from a land down under. Women go and men they chunder. Can you hear that thunder? You better run, you better take cover. Thanks for having me. See you all listening.
I did whisper to Alex after your second number, I think I could listen to him all day, and then he said, sorry Wendy, I've got a third song, so. Thanks for Darryn's done a lot. He's lived in North West Australia. He's sung a lot around tracks, written songs, encapsulated so much about the Australia that we love, the spaces, the countryside, the people coming together, people from all over the world living in Australia, the ups and downs, everything about Australia, and personalise it beautifully. Thank you. Okay, speaking of all faces, all of the people and the people who contribute to a community and make it work, because that's how we get love and happiness. I think it's that connection to people, not only our close people we love in our lives, but community and the support of people around us. And so it comes to another highlight of the morning, and that's our presentation of our Australia Day Awards. And we've got some pretty special things we're going to hear about, and pretty special people coming up to accept these awards. Every year the Rotary Club put nomination forms out around the town to get nominations for our various categories. And it's a bit of a tough job trying to get people to nominate, but we do get them every year. Every year we find fantastic people in our community who will put the time in and put nominations together. And often it's talking to many people in many organisations, because the people who you're going to hear about in a minute are not just in one organisation, often in many. And little country towns like this and communities need so many people to help each other out. And I know so many people in this crowd today, and I know every one of you probably could be up here, because every one of you put in some way into our community. And I think, that's a great thing. And I think we can actually applaud each other. Have a look at someone in the crowd and say thank you to them too. So let's do that. Thank you. So thanks for those who put the submissions in for our nominations. Thanks to the judges. They had an equally difficult task trying to then pick a winner, which is not, you don't really want to pick a winner because they're all winners. But That was the brief. Sorry, just like Darryn had a brief. And we went a little bit further beyond the brief too, to be honest, Darryn. We didn't follow exactly to the rules. So the first one we're going to present is to our Young Achiever of the Year for 2026, Lucy Schilling. I'd like Lucy to come forward, please, and guide leader Kirsty Holland.
Lucy Schilling is an outstanding young Australian whose energy, leadership and commitment make her a shining example of the values celebrated on Australia Day. Through school, work, volunteering, sport and Girl Guides, Lucy has made a lasting and positive contribution to the Warracknabeal community. Lucy's dedication to her education is exceptional. From year 7 to 11, she achieved every level of the Young Achiever Award, bronze, silver, gold and platinum, reflecting both consistent effort and personal excellence. She achieved outstanding academic results and a 90% overall average in Year 11. In recognition of her all-around achievements, Lucy received the Warracknabeal Excellence Award from Anne Webster MP in Year 10 for excellence in both school and community involvement. Demonstrating remarkable responsibility and leadership in the workplace, Lucy balances study with regular employment at Ritchie.
And donations from local residents. When animals come into Maryann's care, she has them checked out by a vet, they are neutered, and then all necessary vaccinations are administered. Maryann has food bins for cat and dog food donations at both local supermarkets and also seeks weekly $5 donations to help her cause. Maryann uses social media to reach out to the public to help rehouse animals in need of their forever home and welcomes feedback from people who have adopted animals and frequently shares the future journeys of those animals. Maryann is a quiet achiever and highly deserving of recognition in our community. So congratulations.
This will be short and sweet too. Good morning everyone and happy Australia Day. I'm so thankful for this award. It was totally unexpected. Caring for and rehoming animals is a passion of mine. I cannot do it alone. I would like to thank Matt and my family and all my friends that have supported me over the years. There's also people that help me transport them to vet appointments or to other rescues. Without the donations from the wonderful community who donate into the bins at IGA, Foodworks or drop them off at my house, also into money tins at several businesses and the $5 Fridays. I wouldn't be able to help as many animals, so thank you very, very much. And if anyone is interested in adopting a new best friend, please reach out. And thank you very much.
Little statue here. So I'm leaving. Well, nearly back. Here's the train station. It no longer has passenger trains. That's the station master's house, the old one down there. And we're going around here. There we are. It's now about 8 days after Australia Day. It's Tuesday the 3rd of February 2026, and there's the full moon up there in the morning having run around, and it's Warracknabeal. And we might say a few things later in the day about living in Australia and how we do not have bananas and rice as our basic food like they seem to do with the Somalis in Minnesota. So when I'm up a bit later, we'll see about why we defend our Australian flag and enjoy life here in Australia. And I have taken thousands of bindies up out of that garden ground this year, and there are just about 10 or 20 more that have come up. I'll go and get those. Sometimes put down the grass I've been thinking of putting down. Full moon on this morning as sunrise is happening in the other sky over there somewhere. Good morning. Padre says good morning too. Don't you, Padre? And brother, whoever he is. You've got their catio there. We have sunrise over the old silos. You can see it just coming up here in the morning. In the front garden. I've also taken up lots of bindies. Something's happening out there. Don't think it's the morning train, just a truck. I can hear birds, some birds. Anyway, this morning, soon they'll come along and take the rubbish away. And all is semi-quiet on the Molyneux Street front. Here's my house. It'll be up for sale soon. Here am I in the early morning light. Well, here I am, Anthony Clark, Tony Clark, to most people, with my First Fleet Fellowship hat on, which you can get as being a member of the First Fleet Fellowship. And I just wanted to wrap up the Australia Day function at Warracknabeal that I filmed. It's part of what this film will be. To say why I'm proud to be an Australian, I suppose. My First Fleet ancestor on the First Fleet, Alan Wainwright, was sent out, flogged a couple of times on the way out for wanting more food, and arrived in Sydney on January 26, 1788, a couple of days beforehand, when they finally uploaded the flag on the 26th of January. And then she was sent on the Second Fleet, on the Sirius, to Norfolk Island, but within 30 days, and she was there for about 15, 16 years, had 4 children there. 3 daughters. I think the son died, James, and then they were sent down to Tasmania, as that island was closed at that stage, and it reopened later as a bad penal settlement. But the first Norfolk Island settlement was a wonderful place to be. She had a 2-story house there, and she married. No, I'm not sure she married, but she had her fiancé there, and did very well, having the children. Then in Tasmania, Norfolk Island, New Norfolk is where they lived, but her eldest daughter, Elizabeth, married Captain Lascelles, looked down upon by society, marrying a daughter of a convict, but he wanted to, and it was done. And they had children. The grandchild, Edwin Lascelles, was in Melbourne and was in Victoria, and founded Hopetoun, named after Lord Hopetoun, whom he had befriended, who was a friend of, He was the first governor of Victoria and later the first Governor-General. That's where Hopeton got its name from. And he also set up Lascelles, and the hotel there was named after one of his granddaughters. I always get the name mixed up. The Minapray. And Alan Wainwright had thousands of descendants. And among my ancestors, my mother served for a bit at the Army Barracks in Victoria Barracks during the Second World War, but her husband, my father, Calvert Clark, was stationed in Tobruk. No, he wasn't in Tobruk. He was stationed in Cairo, but he supplied lots of things to Tobruk. And he was told, because he had a Jewish grandmother on his mother's side, that he shouldn't get captured by the Germans, which he wasn't. And mother's 3 brothers all served in the services. There was Lowen Alexander, squadron commander, I think, squadron leader Clem Hardy. He was stationed in Khartoum and would fly up to Cairo every now and again to visit Dad, where they were supposed to have nice afternoon tea, which meant lots of beers probably. Then there was squadron, surgeon commander in the Royal Australian Navy, Lowen Alexander Harvey. He was one of the first people after the bombing or during the bombing of Darwin. He was in the Darwin Hospital, where his boat, the Warracknabeal, dropped in, and he couldn't get back on the boat when the Japs were coming, so he was in the hospital, and the nurses were looking at x-rays, and they said, where are these planes coming from? They might have been coming from the south. He took one look and they said, they're Japs. So he was there for the first bombing raid, and after his boat sank, after it pulled out without him, he apparently stayed in charge of the hospital for about 6 weeks. And then the 3rd brother was in the Navy, Ward Hardy. And Ward Hardy, for years afterwards, was in charge of the Australian war cemeteries, war graves in the Pacific. The story goes, he used to come home every now and again on leave, and his wife Sheila would dust him down with fly spray and things, keep all those bugs out, even though he'd been thoroughly disinfected before arriving. These sorts of things happen, but our family over the years have done a lot of good things, and we've all grown up. And of course, Mum and Dad had 10 sons, and Mum was known as that esoteric Scottish Catholic who believed that all babies came with their own big sum of money. So Dad had to earn the money, particularly when she wanted them all sent to Saviour, like her 3 brothers went to Saviour. Dad apparently was paying off 20 years later, but they all became really Jesuit Catholics. Well, after 11 years at Burkle and Xavier, I think I must be a Jesuit Catholic, particularly as I was then called upon to do things, and written probably 20 million words for migrants and refugees, and even though most of them paid their bills, a lot didn't, but I didn't sue them. It was the Jesuit in me, I'm afraid. Well, glad to say, I suppose, because I always survived. And here I am in Warracknabeal. I still have my things, even though I've lost the big house and things I built after my brother Adrian died, leaving lots of debts for his hemp business. So I financed hemp, I financed computers, I've done all sorts of things that the family wanted me to do. And I'm still going, and will continue going. Anyway, so I'm a proud Australian. You always get up and keep going. And that's what you've got to do in Australia. And you're allowed to in Australia because you've got the opportunity to do things here. Whereas other countries, if you're knocked down, often you just can't get back up. Anyway, so that's why I'm very happy to attend Australia Day parades and things, and Australia Day functions, not too much the parades, and go to the Anzac ceremonies as well. So I thought I'd just throw that on at the end of my talk. Of course, I've got the 2 cats to look after, Padre and brother. They adopted me when they were about 6 months old. They just came across to the Dome House and said, after their mother and other 2 children had disappeared, and said, you feed us, look after us. Best decision they ever made. So I think that's all I've got to say. Happy Australia Day. And be an Australian. I thought I'd just finish up with the 3 flags I identify with. There's the Australian flag. Here's the Victorian flag with the crown on it over the Southern Cross. And here is the Queensland flag for when I eventually win one of those houses in Queensland. And it has the Maltese cross with a crown in the middle. St Edward's crown or someone, I've forgotten whose one. But that's the Queensland flag. So I identify with 3 Australian flags. And I think we'll be wrapping up our talk here. Those are my records in the background, some of them anyway. It's where all the music comes from all those videos I've done. You know, amongst all this other stuff, strife and things I've been through, and whatever setbacks over the years, I managed to make all those films. I just kept on going. No one financed me to do all of that. No government grants, no nothing. Just my determination to go out, prepare tapes and things, and take train trips and do them. In New Zealand, America, Australia, Europe, England, and India. Thanks. Go and watch them. Bye.